1. Welcome everybody to the Dragons Fan Guy account again, and we're joined for the second time with Bailey Antrobus. How you going, mate?
Yeah, good mate. How are you?
Good. So we were talking last time about just football in general for you, and today we'll be talking about the World Cup for you. So if you'd like to just talk about the World Cup and how it's been for you.
Yeah, it's been
And
a
we're
real
just
experience.
as clarity, but Bailey's been playing for Wales. If anybody didn't know, so
Yeah, cheers, mate. Yeah, it's been a good experience. Some boys all over the country, including England, Wales, and even Australia, all come together. It was a good time. We got to learn a lot more about the heritage and stuff like that, a lot of the cultural side of it. But just playing footy was unreal. You get to play in the big stadium in front of some
yeah.
amazing people, especially your family. Then also some of the big boys back home, the big names, which was good. And yeah, it was an unreal experience.
So how was it like running out for the first time in the Wales jersey, like the proper, not the practice game, just the actual game? What did it feel like for you?
Yeah, it was unforgettable, mate. It's your first World Cup, you'll never forget it. Just more the fact that when the anthem start playing and you see all the war cries, which was good. It was an unforgettable experience and it'll be memory I'll last forever, mate. It was unreal.
And so we know that with Wales, unfortunately, they didn't go as well as I would hope. Because I go for Wales and Australia. I've got history with family with Wales and
No, nice.
Australia, so I was disappointed, but they played really good in some patches. So I thought it was really good, just disappointing, but always room for improvement.
Yeah, it's like that. It was we didn't have we always come in and say, look, we're gonna do our best no matter what, and we had the hard pull unfortunately, but you look at all those teams, a lot of them are full time
Yeah.
boys and we just did our best. We had a massive goal that we're gonna try and win that Cook Islands game as our main one that we're really going to go hard for. But unfortunately, we just didn't get the win. But I don't think the score really reflected on all the games on how we performed. So as we dug our heels in and said, no, we're going to take a stand against these guys. And we were all happy on and off the field. We were proud of the way we did. And yeah, we were happy as.
So I think Billy's just going to be on, I think now. I don't know if you can see him or not. I've got a new system. So last time we were on a video call, so this is the new system. So I'm not
Yeah, so
getting getting used to it yet. So I don't know. He'll be on in 5 minutes. So
that's all right.
the other question. So how was it like for you to compare the crowd then in the World Cup to playing for York? Was the crowd more enthusiastic or less, or
Um,
what
it
do
was a
you
bit
think?
different. There was more people there, and the more atmosphere was more fan orientated there. But as opposed to back at York, you got a lot of the fans chanting and stuff like that. But it was still a really good experience. That they did well to get the crowds into it and stuff like that.
And I was just going to say to you, you might meet with York. I found out I've got a relative going over there now, so you might, if you keep it for Tom Clifton, if you
Yep.
keep an eye out, that's my cousin. I think he's working there. I don't know if he's not playing, but so
Okay.
thought I
I'll
should
have to keep an
mention
eye
that
out.
as well.
Keep an eye out for him.
Only thing is he's a Knights supporter, so that's the only thing.
Wrong
So,
team.
so how was it like playing against some of the NRL boys? Because I know you haven't played NRL yet. So how was it like playing against some of the NRL boys?
Yeah, it was good. It was tough, but it's good. A good way to test to see where you stand against those big boys in the NRL because they're in the position that you want to be in, and it was good just to take a stand and try to do your best up against them and just see on a competitive level where you stand and what you need to improve on and what you did well against them. But that was good. You look up to a lot of them and say, I want to play like them and get to play against them.
So who was the most annoying player in the Wales team?
Most annoying, definitely the twins. They were just crack ups. Sometimes you just shook your head at them. I love them to pieces.
So I know you're back with York. So you're still with York now.
Yeah, mate, still at York till next year.
So I suppose your pre-season stuff has started. So probably not
Yeah, next
for
week we
you
go
yet,
back, which will be
but
next week.
You looking forward to it, I suppose?
Yeah, it'd be good. It'd be tough, especially during the winter, first winter pre-season, but it'd be a good challenge, and we're going in a good direction. So it'd be really interesting to see how we go. And yeah, a lot of things coming on
Yeah.
board for York. It'd be really good.
So the other question we got for you, so you got to play against some of the NRL boys and some of the other Super League players. Who was your favourite player you played against in the World Cup? It could be NRL player,
Uh,
any type of player that you played against.
oh, oof. I wouldn't say there's one standout player. It was just it was unreal just to play against Tonga because that's a full NRL side, and they're the best of the best for their Tongan nation. So it was good just to play against those boys. And it was good to see some boys like Junior, Moses Sully. It was good to catch up with them. But yeah, I couldn't put a single person. I have to say the whole team just because you watch them week in, week out on the TV and train with some of them and then you get to play against them. So it's unreal.
So as well, so how was it like in the camp? Like, was it what you expected it, or was it harder than what you expected, or?
Yeah, camp was unreal, mate. It was unreal. It was so good. Everyone gelled really well. Everyone got on so good. We always had good laughs in there. There was a couple of tough days where we had obviously training that was a bit tough. But it was good. You form a bond with all the boys and stuff like that. But it was good. I definitely miss it. It's been around the boys for 5 weeks, but it was a really good experience, and everyone's looking forward to get back in our next camp, whenever it is.
So, with York and that, so I know that. How was your first season now? Because I know when we talked last, I forgot to ask that with the question. So, how was your first season in your opinion?
Yeah, it
There.
was good. It was really good. Coaches were great there. The boys were great there. We got in a really good direction. There was a couple of times where we sort of didn't meet expectations, but we were good to turn that around, and we're really going hard for next year to try and get that Super League spot, and we're going to do whatever we can and push hard for it. It's all going good at York at the moment, and we'll see how we go next year. Just got to put a good pre-season in all the boys, and we'll go from there.
So this show only's got another 8 minutes, so I don't think Billy will be joining us. Unfortunately, well, I think there's been a technical difficulty.
Oh,
So,
not good.
so we'll just only got 5 minutes 20 left, Bailey. So the other question we've got for you: how are you adapting to living in England now after you've been there nearly a year?
Yeah, it's good. It's getting colder now, which I'm not liking, but back in January and February it'll be freezing. So ask me that then, and we'll see. But it's good. It's different here. A lot of things like the lifestyle's different. The culture's different, but rugby league, it's still rugby league. Everyone loves it. The fans love it, and it's a good. And I'm in a good spot in York. York's really nice. It's one of a great city. A lot of history behind it, but adapted to it well.
So how has it been like, in your opinion, with the whole thing with the king and queen, with the queen dying over the time you've been there, and the king, like, how have, how have you thought of that?
Yeah, it was pretty sad. Everyone was pretty upset over here because she's done a lot for the country, and the monarch is very. It's very respected over here. It's very respected. It was really weird. One night I was just in the car when it happened, and the next thing you know, all the radios cut out to BBC, which is basically imagine channel I-98, but on like a whole country level. And every radio station, including Wave FM, was just the exact same broadcast on the BBC. It was really just like a shock because everyone was like, oh, all of a sudden, like, oh, the news actually passed away. But the country be heading a good direction with the king, and it's really respected over here, so it'll be good.
Hmm. And so so now, would you ever consider coming back to the NRL now? Like, if you
Oh, of
got
course.
offered now, would you consider getting a release? If something came up, would you really consider it, or would you like to finish out in England before you come back?
I'd love to come home. Don't get me wrong, but it's whether my duties lie at the moment. They're with York, but it'll be interesting, hopefully, to come back home because obviously the NRL is the dream. But at the moment, just at York.
We definitely want you back at the Dragons. Um, it was
It'd be
just
good to come back home.
disappointing because as I saw you in the trial games against the Eels, and again with the World Cup, you were really good, mate. Just really
Thanks, mate.
consistent.
Appreciate it.
I'm surprised you haven't played NRL. So
Just a couple of people in front of me. Just got to buy me time and hopefully work my tail off and get there.
yeah, so if you don't, I think we've not got much left. So if you'd just like to just say about Wales and just like you can say anything you'd like now, just about rugby league or anything, because we've got 3 minutes left of this before it cuts out. So if you'd like to say anything you'd like, I don't mind.
Yeah, no, just a bit about the World Cup. It's a really good experience. I think they've done well organising it. It'd be great to get one back eventually. Hopefully, if I'm able to select it again to Australia, which would be good to play on home soil. It was really good. You form a bond before your mates. There's nothing better when you see your family and the anthems playing, and you just get to see your family after. It was honestly a really good experience. Anyone who gets selected it's an absolute honour and congratulate all of them. It's really good. But yeah, footy over here's going well, mate. They're trying to grow the game. There's a bit of talk about a different takeover that's going to change the Super League and shake it up a bit. And York's looking pretty good with where that's going. But our goal is here just to make the Super League next year and just put our best foot forward, mate.
So, because I only just found out recently that York are not in the Super League. That's right, isn't it? They're
Yeah, we're one below.
same as the equality to the New South Wales Cup, something of that.
Yeah, pretty simple, mate.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us this evening, mate. And it's been a privilege again to have you on. And hopefully we'll get you on again later down the track.
Of course, mate.
Maybe in the middle of next year we'll get you on again. But yeah, it's been a privilege having you on again. And I'm sorry for Billy if you've been watching this that I couldn't get you on. You
No, that's
tried
all
to
right.
connect, it just wouldn't connect. So sorry, mate. But yeah, thanks, Billy. Sorry, Bailey. Sorry.
All right, mate.
Yeah. All
Thanks,
right.
mate. Enjoy. Have a good one.
Thanks, mate. All right.